then a non-Muslim would come to this Muslim and puts doubts in his mind. And then he comes, how to answer this, how to refute this, because he doesn't have the ilm. Otherwise he would be able to defend Islam and to give the correct answer. So these are the three reasons. What are they? Reliance upon other than Allah, giving in to anger, and surrender to the desires. And that is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala summarized in the book, in one ayah. He summarized that. He says, وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَدْعُونَ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرَ. They don't call upon Allah another ilah. They rely upon Allah, because that is tawheed. Second thing, وَلَا يَقْتُلُونَ النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهِ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. And they don't kill innocent souls except in the justified way. And people, when they kill one another, when they are angry. Anger causes you to kill. And thirdly, وَلَا يَزْنُونَ. And they do not fornicate. They do not commit fornication, which is the desire. So these are the three root causes of sins. Three things. And the way the shaitan can make you to commit the sin is either through the shahawat, lust and desires, or through the shubuhat, doubts. And the remedy for the shahawat, what? What's the remedy for the desires? Taqwa, fear of Allah. And the remedy for the doubts, what? Ilm, the knowledge itself. Now, having said this, brothers and sisters, the sins, Muslim scholars have categorized sins into two compartments. Sins have been classified into two categories, kaba'ir and sagha'ir. Have you heard these words before? Kaba'ir and sagha'ir. Major sins and minor sins. Major sins and minor sins. These are the two types of sins. Kaba'ir and sagha'ir. Major sins and minor sins. How to differentiate between these two types of sins? The major sin, kabira, major sin, is any sin that has a prescribed punishment in Islam. Any sin that has a known punishment in Islam, it's called major sin. Like fornication, like killing someone, like drinking alcohol. There are known punishment in Islam, known penalties. So they are major sins. Is this clear to you? Also, this is one sign by which you can differentiate between major and minor. Another thing, the Quran or the Hadith negates the iman. Negates iman. For instance, the Prophet ﷺ says, Wallahi la yu'min, Wallahi la yu'min, Wallahi la yu'min, man lam ya'man jaruhu bawa'iqahu. He is not a mu'min, believer. He's not a believer. He's not a believer, the one who hurts or annoys or disturbs his neighbor. Or the one whose neighbor is not safe from his injury or his evil. So now, disturbing one's neighbor, whether he's a Christian or Muslim or Hindu, whatever, is a major sin. Disturbing the neighbor is a major sin in Islam. Because the neighbor has many rights on you, even if he's not a Muslim. Not only this in Islam. See, Islam tells the Muslims that when you buy gifts for your children, you buy gifts for the children of your neighbor. You know this? This is what the Prophet ﷺ said. If you buy gifts for your children, you buy gifts for the children of your neighbor. Even if he's not a Muslim. And if you cannot afford that, you should not let your children come out and play with their toys outside. You tell your children you play with the toys inside. Because if the children take their toys outside, the children of your neighbor will start to cry. Will start to cry, and then they come to their dad and they want him to buy gifts for them. And he cannot do that. So you are also bothering and annoying and disturbing your neighbor. Also among the signs how to know that this sin is a major sin, the second sign, if the Prophet ﷺ is denying the iman, say he's not a mu'min, he's not a believer. Or if there is a curse, la'an. You know the word la'na? La'an. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is cursing someone, that is also a major sin. For instance, the Prophet ﷺ is saying, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ النَّامِسَ وَالْمُسْتَنْمِسَ. Allah's curse upon those who black their eyebrows. You know, the women, they black their eyebrows. So blacking the eyebrows is a major sin. Because the one who does that, you know, blacking the eyebrows, women, they know that. Okay? It's a major sin because Allah cursed her, the one who does that. Also, if the Prophet ﷺ says that the one who does this thing, he's not from us. Like he said, مَنْ غَشَّنَا فَلَيْسَ مِنَّا. He who cheats us is not from us. So cheating is what? Major sin. It's a major sin. So now we have major sins and we have minor sins. The major sins, Allah will not forgive them unless you make a sincere tawbah. Sincere tawbah. And you say, oh Allah, I am quitting, I am leaving it. I will give up this, I will not do it again. Then Allah will forgive you that major sin. But the minor sins, they will be forgiven by default. Like now we are going to pray, inshallah. So the prayer washes the minor sins. The salah washes away the minor sins. Because we know, when we came here, by mistake we saw something here, something that, you know, in the newspaper you see something. So these minor sins will be washed away by the salah. And the wudu, you know the wudu itself. When you take the wudu, the problem that many of us, when we take the wudu, there is no niyyah, there is no intention. We just carry making wudu just like that, by default, like a robot. But when we take wudu, you should have in mind, prepare yourself, that now I'm taking wudu to pray, to stand in front of Allah. When you wash your hands, your sins fall apart. When you wash your face, all the sins that you saw during your day comes out. When you wash your right hand, the sins, they fall apart. The left hand, with the water, they come out. The sins, they come out. By the time you finish the wudu, all your sins are washed away. Just by the wudu. This is the rahmah from Allah.
दौरे हाजिर के जदीद मसाइल का हल जानने के लिए देखिए पीस टीवी उर्दू इंशाअल्लाह 10 दिन बाद।
When a man dies, his acts come to an end, but